everyone, I welcome you all to today's session of Focus of the Day. In today's session, we are going to talk about a news that is very controversial and has brought a lot of sports authorities of India under different sorts of scrutiny, both nationally and internationally. So, today's topic is FIFA's suspension of All India Football Federation. We shall be covering this particular topic in the following sequence. First of all, why it is in news. Then why did FIFA suspend All India Football Federation? What are the implications of this suspension or ban of All India Football Federation? How will this particular ban be lifted? Followed by the prelims and means based practice questions for you all. But before that, I want you all to be informed about new Polity and Ethics Foundation courses for 2023 by Analyst IAS's Nitin Shivhare sir, which are going to begin on 25th of August, the next batches, and the timings will be 11 and 4 p.m. respectively for Polity and Ethics. The seats are very limited, so I would ask you to hurry up and call on this particular number to inquire further about the courses and as well as the admission. Now, moving ahead, why in news? So, FIFA has suspended All India Football Federation due to undue influence from third parties. Yes, this is what FIFA says. FIFA says that your organization is having undue influence from third parties and hence we are not going to associate with you. Now, what kind of influence is being talked about? It's the political influence which is not legitimate. And the problems for Indian football, in fact, began after the erstwhile Indian Football Federation's president refused to quit his post. And he, mind you guys, was having this presidential post for past 12 years as the head of football in the country. After this, Supreme Court intervened and removed the president from his post because after all, elections were supposed to replace the president from time to time. The Supreme Court also appointed a committee for administrators COA to run the All India Football Federation. But even this does not make the federation legitimate because neither the Supreme Court appointed body and nor the president who refuses to quit is supposed to regulate the All India Football Federation. It has to have proper elections and that's how it needs to be constituted. So, Supreme Court appointed body still makes it an illegitimate regulatory body as far as the international standards are concerned. And even India's own sports laws, sports policies are concerned. So, why did FIFA suspend All India Football Federation? All India Football Federation has been suspended on the following grounds. Number 1, third party interference. It refers to a situation in which a member association of FIFA fails to remain independent. It is co-opted and no longer has control over its own organizational decisions. In this case, Supreme Court's diktat to the COA to run the AIFF was a textbook case of third party reference. So right now, AIFF is being run by a Supreme Court appointed COA. But just because in India this is legitimate since it is being appointed by Supreme Court, does it make it fair at international level in FIFA's prospects as well? No, it is a third party. The president and all the members of the authority need to come directly or indirectly, either through elections, nominations, but they have to be not influenced by any third party. So here the role of Supreme Court as an entity is considered as an influence on the All India Football Federation, and FIFA does not associate with any of the organizations of any of the nation on which a third party influence is there. The another reason is deviations in the roadmap of COA. The COA itself, which number one is not being considered legitimate by FIFA, has made major changes to All India Football Federation constitution. Principal among them was the decision to include 36 eminent players in the electoral college. So people who are going to elect people who will be part of AIFF, they are going to be 36 eminent players. That is 50% of total 72 voters will be eminent players. So electoral college is actually going to constitute 72 people, but 50% of that 36 are going to be eminent players. For the purposes of voting in the AIFF elections, FIFA wanted that the eminent players representation is supposed to be limited to 25% of electoral college, because if previously who were regulating the body, they keep on doing it through eminent players, it's not a fair play according to FIFA's rules. So, FIFA sees the court-appointed COA having a say in the running of Indian football as a third-party interference. Then the world body says it is not a prudent idea to have equal number of eminent players alongside state association representatives in the electoral college. Then the draft constitution submitted by COA to the Supreme Court states the electoral college will have representatives from 36 state associations and 36 eminent football players, and amongst these 36 eminent football players, 24 will be male players and 12 will be female players, because that is the ratio of players under football. Males are more than females. In fact, males are double the female players in the game of football currently in India. So the world body is okay with the executive committee having 25% former players as co-opted members and not 50%. So what does FIFA ban mean for Indian football? Number one, during the course of suspension, any domestic tournament being conducted will not be recognized either by AFC or FIFA. Then, the national teams will not be allowed to participate in the international tournaments. So, can Indian football team play FIFA? No, it cannot. Then, Gokulam Kerala Football Club cannot participate in the AFC Women's Club Championship next week. Senior national team cannot participate in the SAFF Women's Championship next month. And ATK Mohan Bagan's AFC Cup fixture on September 7 is also doubtful because of this particular ban/suspension. So a lot of opportunities are going to be snatched from the player's hand, from country's hand, because of this particular ban. So, what are the implications? Now you have understood. National teams and clubs banned from any international competition. No Indian national teams, senior or junior, men's or women, cannot take part in any AFC or FIFA affiliated matches or tournaments till the suspension is lifted. No under 17 Women's World Cup in India. So India was going to host the under 17 football World Cup for women's. Now this is not going to happen. So the under 17 Women's World Cup was scheduled to be held in India in 2022 itself. But this ban would lead to India losing the hosting rights to the Women World Cup. However, the damage can be undone if the ban is lifted fast enough. And for the lifting of ban, course correction needs to be done. So what has to be done under the course correction? Let's understand. So FIFA has said that two main concerns need to be addressed in order for the ban to be lifted. Number one, first, the mandate of COA would have to be repealed in absolute sense. And second, the All India Football Federation administration would need to be completely in charge of its day-to-day running once again. So no third-party influence. Right? Okay. So this was about the news. I hope you have understood it beyond controversy, beyond taking names, beyond blame games. This is complete technical and factual information related to the whole scenario. The prelims practice question for today is, which of the following term is recognized as an early form of football by FIFA? Your options are A. Kimari, B. Episkairos, C. Kujau, and D. Inuit. So, the answer is B, that is Episkairos. Now let's move to the mains practice question. Individual talent alone cannot make India a great sporting nation. In this context, discuss the need for creating a suitable ecosystem for sports development in India. You have to write this particular answer in 150 words and send in your answers to us on WhatsApp to get them reviewed. This is it for today. I shall see you again tomorrow. Till then, take care, stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining in.